What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building, and I'm gonna be talking about UFC 259. These are my predictions. Awesome card, so stacked. We haven't had a stacked card like this in a minute, y'all. This card is awesome, man. And let's talk about it. We start off the card with Trevin Jones versus Mario Batista. Trevin Jones comes in 12-6, fights out of Guam, age 30. Height 5'7" and reaches 70. Mario's 8-1. Fights out of Glendale, Arizona, age 27. Height 5'9", and a reach of 69. I'm sorry, y'all. I heard some neighbors. I don't know if y'all can hear that in the background, but they're arguing about something. But yeah, Trevin Jones. Obviously, his last fight was Timur Valiev. That was a no contest because he was smoking that kush. Ain't nothing wrong with it though, but they be hating in the UFC. But I think they changed the rule on that, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, that was his last. That was the last time I seen him win. But his most recent win on his record is against Tukufami Asaka. I think that's how you say his name. 1 year ago, and actually a year and 9 months ago. And his last loss was to Rogério via split decision, and that was 2 and 8 months ago. So that's actually pretty interesting. Mario, he's coming off a win over Miles John via flying knee, which was nuts. That was awesome. And then his most recent loss was 2 years ago against Corey Sandhagen. So that's not a bad loss. That's the number two guy in the world. Not a bad loss to have. Trevin Jones is a good fighter. He's tough. He really shocked me against Timur Valiev. He has power. He can crack, but I think Mario Batista is just on another level than him. I think he's just a little better all around, and I'm gonna take Mario Batista to get this done by decision. Nothing against Trevin Jones, but it is what it is. And I don't know if he's still rocking the blonde hair. If he's not rocking the blonde hair, then I think it's really over for him. But yeah, let's talk about these fights. Next one up, Usur Medic versus Aalon Cruz. Medic comes in 6-0, fights out of Siberia. No, actually, he's fighting out of Alaska, age 27, height 6'1", and reaches 71. Cruz is 8-3, fights out of Tampa, Florida, age 31, height 6 foot, and reaches 78. This is a really, really good fight. Medic is obviously undefeated. His most recent one was against Mickey Gonzalez via kicks to the fucking body, man. Those was crazy. Aalon Cruz is coming off a loss to Spike Carlisle, which, Spike's only win in the UFC, I think. And, his most recent win was against Steven Nagin via flying knee, which was a good knockout for him. I don't know, man. Cruz, I think, has a chance to really win this fight. He does have the experience. He has a whole bunch of fights. But I just feel like this Medic kid, the way he was going forward, he's very aggressive. The body kicks he was throwing, I think he's going to break Cruz. I got him taking this by third round TKO. And I think Tapology got Medic by KO and 14 by decision. So it's not a bad pick to go the distance. But, I don't know. I just feel like Cruz he's going to be tougher than his last fight, but I think he's going to get finished, So that's what I got to say about that. Next one up, Kai Kara France versus Rojo Bontero. France comes in 21-9, fights out of New Zealand, Auckland, age 27, height 5'4", and reaches 66.5. Rogério's 16-2, good record, fights out of Brazil, age 28, height 5'5", and reaches 67. Kai Kara France's most recent loss was to Brandon Royval, and his most recent win was to Tyson Nam. Rojo's most recent loss was to Ray Borg, and his most recent win was to Ruvlin Pava via KO. So that's not a bad. I think Ruvlin is a ranked flyweight. I'm positive, yeah. So if we look at the rankings of where these guys are ranked, actually, if I go look for it, I think Kai Kara France is number 8 or some shit. Like, he's somewhere. But It's interesting. Yeah, Kai Kara France is number 8. Rogério is also number 8. So they're obviously fighting for that number 8 position to see who's going to take number 9. It is what it is. This is a good fight. Yeah, 74% of Tapology is going Kai Kara France. Kai, I think, is really good, man. His striking is really good. But yeah, that Brandon Royval fight kind of really, it disappointed me a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna take him in this. I'm gonna assume he doesn't have the reach advantage, but I think he's just gonna be able to outwork and outpace Rogério. So I'm taking Kai Kara France by decision. Hopefully he gets this done. Next one up, another banger of a fight. Sean Brady versus Jake Matthews. I love this fight. Sean comes in 13-0. Fights out of Pennsylvania, age 28, height 5'10", and reaches 72.5. Jake is 17-4. Fights out of Australia, age 26, height 5'11", and reaches 72. Sean's most recent win was against Christian Aguilera. Christian Aguilera is a monster, y'all. That dude is a straight-up killer. Sean Brady is obviously undefeated. Jake, on the other hand, his most recent win was against Diego Sanchez. I was not impressed with that victory, if I'm being honest. And his most recent loss was to Anthony Rocco Martin, who's not in the UFC anymore, via Anaconda choke. That was when Rocco Martin was kind of making a run, and I think he got ranked at that moment. But he has some good wins. I think he has a win over Jili Lang. Jake Matthews has fought a lot of guys. He's fought guys like Kevin Lee. He's fought a lot of guys. He's a really, really experienced cat. His grappling's really good. I just was not impressed with that Diego Sanchez performance. I was like, wow, that is insane. Sean Brady is a supreme talent. He's one of the only guys I've seen really successfully, besides, we're only talking about guys who are not ranked at welterweight, that are able to mix it up like him. Like, he reminds me like I don't want to say like just a bigger Frankie Edgar kind of, like, but like not even like, Frankie was really good with his hands and then transitioning to wrestling. This kid is good everywhere. He has good kicks. He's not scared, to dance at distance, to be at range, or to go inside. And his takedowns and his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu, it's just scary good, man. What this kid can accomplish, I see him getting ranked by this year, man. I'm really high on Sean Brady, and I think he gets this done by decision. He is a legitimate guy. This one, I'm not gonna talk too much about it. Mr. Marvelous, Carlos Ulberg versus Kennedy Nzechukwu, the African Savage. All right. Carlos comes at 3-0, fights in New Zealand, age 30, height 6'4", and reaches 77 points. Oh, okay, that's interesting. 77. Kennedy is 7-1. Is fighting out of Dallas, Texas, age 28, height 6'5", a reach of 83. So Kennedy does have the reach advantage, which is actually interesting. Carlos is coming off a knockout win over Bruno Oliveira. Kennedy's coming off a win over Dorko Sosrovic via decision. And his most recent loss was to Paul Craig, who is a ranked guy. I held that on to him for losing to Paul Craig. I do think Paul Craig is trash, and I don't like him. But after that, what he did to Shogun, I was like, wow. I was shocked. I was really shocked. Yeah. I was like, wow. He killed him. 70% of Tapology is going with Carlos. Here's what I gotta say, man. I'm not a fan of Kennedy, but like his gym are not idiots. So I've seen pictures of Carlos as a white belt in the gi. I feel like that's not a very indicative of how good his grappling is or his takedown defense. But I honestly think Kennedy has to just shoot for his life. He cannot stand with this guy. This guy is lethal on the feet, and he's mean, and he hurts you. He is not nice. Like, he comes in there to kill. That's what Kennedy has to do to win this fight, but I don't think he can do it. I think Ulberg gets it done via second round TKO. I'm saying that. That's what I'm saying. Next fight, awesome fight. Another great ranked fight. Tim Elliott versus Jordan Espinoza. Tim comes in 16-11-1. Fights out of Missouri, age 34, height 5'7", and reaches 67.0. Jordan Espinosa is 15-8. Fights at Albuquerque, New Mexico, age 31, height 5'6", and a recent 69.0. Tim is coming off a win over Ryan Benoit, and his most recent loss was to Brandon Royval. Espinosa is coming off a loss to David Dvorak. I'm really high on Dvorak, and his most recent win was against Mark De La Rosa. These guys are good. Where is my boy? Tim is number 12, and I think Espinosa is not ranked anymore. So that's interesting. That Espinosa is getting this fight, probably a tune-up fight for Tim. Get Tim some wins before we can throw him to the dogs. I don't know what this is. Espinosa is a good fighter. He's a very athletic striker. He has a good wrestling background. He's not a bad fighter, but I just think Tim is just gonna outwork him. I think Jordan Espinosa, he's good, but there's just a certain level of opponent he can beat. I think Tim Elliott is just not that guy he can beat. Maybe Tim might choke it. Like, I look at the guys Tim has lost to: Davis and Figueiredo, the champion. Askarov, he's a killer. Brandon Royval, that might be. I'm not too happy that he lost to him, but Brandon has proven that he's decent. Beating Kai Kara France like that. But I gotta go. My pick is I gotta go Tim Elliott. I think second round submission. I think Tim needs to get a sub. I think he's owed a sub, or he's due for a sub by now. So I'm going second round submission. And Espinosa has shown that he's been he's susceptible to submissions. He got arm triangled by Alex Perez, so it's not impossible. But yeah, I'm gonna go Tim Elliott to get this done by second round submission. Next one up, we got Livinha Souza versus Amanda Lemos. This is an awesome fight right here. I like this fight for Amanda Lemos. Livinha Souza is 14-2, fights out of Brazil, age 29, height 5'3", and a recent 63. Lemos is 8-1, fights out of Brazil, age 33, height 5'4", and a recent 65.0. This is an awesome fight. 77% of the people are going with Souza. I was not impressed with Souza's performance against Ashley Yoder. Lemos kind of shocked everybody by beating Mizuki Inoue. She looked in better shape. I think she's going to get this done. I think she's going to beat Souza. And Souza's most recent loss was to Brianna Van Buren. And Lemos' most recent loss was to Leslie Smith. It's not the best thing in the world, but Lemos looks like she's in better shape. So I'm going to take her to get it done by decision. Next one up, Joseph Benavidez versus Askarov. This is really, really interesting fight. Kind of turning point for Joseph Benavidez. Joseph comes in 28-7. That's a lot of fights. Fights out of Sacramento, California. Age 36, height 5'4", and 65. Askarov is 13-0, and obviously he has one draw on his record. Age 28, height 5'6", and a recent 67. So he does have the 2-inch reach advantage, and he's a little taller. 73% of people on Tapology are going with Askarov, and 27 is going with Benavidez. Benavidez's most recent loss was to Davis and Figueiredo, and his most recent one was against Jussier Formiga, who just got cut. Askarov's most recent one was against Pantoja, and it's not a loss, but he has a draw to Brandon Moreno. Askarov is ranked number 3, and Joseph is ranked number 2. This is an awesome fight, at flyweight. It's really hard to see who I see winning this, because Joseph is a good counter wrestler. He can wrestle, and it's just how durable is his chin. Askarov has shown when he fought Tim Elliott, when he fought like a guy who had better grappling than him, he was able to stick behind his jab, but that was just it. He only had a jab. He didn't have like a 1-2. He didn't have a 1-2-3. He didn't have anything behind the jab. So this is where I'm kind of stuck at. But Joseph is 36. The beating he took against Davis and Figueiredo was crazy. But it's like, do I doubt him now? Because I don't know. This is a hard one. I'm gonna take Askarov by decision. I'm really tempted to take Benavidez, because Benavidez' style of counter wrestling and just of kind of swarming guys and just using output, he can do it. But I don't know. He's 36. He's past his prime. I don't know, y'all, bro. Oh, man. I'm going to go take Askarov. I'm just going to go away from this and go to the next fight. Another awesome fight, Kyler Phillips versus Song Yadong. Man, Kyler comes in 8-1, fights at Phoenix, Arizona, age 25, height 5'8", and it reaches 70.5. Song is 16-4-1. Fucking fights at Sacramento, age 23, height 5'8", and it reaches 67 points. I'm sorry, I cannot talk for some odd reason. Kyler's coming off a win over Cameron Ellis via KO. Song is coming off a controversial win over Marlon Vera. I watched it again. I actually kind of have to apologize to Song. I don't know why I felt like it was such a robbery the first time I watched it, but it wasn't that bad of a decision, actually. So I apologize to my guy Song. And and he had a draw to Cody Sandman. But he is coming off a crazy KO over Alejandro Perez. I like Perez a lot. I actually met the guy in San Jose when I was over there. He's an AKA guy. That was pretty sad to see him get knocked out like that. As much as I've kind of felt like they've been pushing Song and they've kind of like want to see the kid succeed, he's a good fighter. Good boxing. Just good everywhere. Maybe grappling might be his fucking kryptonite, but he can box. He has good hands. He has good Muay Thai. I think he gets this done by decision. I don't know if I can see Kyler getting knocked out. I don't know. I can see him, like, don't get it wrong. I believe Song can knock him out, but I don't know if I can see it. Like, you know? Yes, 79% is going with Song in this matchup. So that's interesting. I'm going to take Song by decision to get this done. We're getting through this card. But Dominick Cruz versus Casey Kenney, my boy, the Dominator, man. Man, this is hilarious. Casey's on this card. Dominick comes in 22-3, fights out of San Diego, California, age 35. That's really interesting. That's something to look at. Height of 5'8" and a reach of 68. Casey, 16-2-1, fights at Arizona, age 29, height 5'7", and a reach of 68, which is interesting. Dominick is coming off a loss to Henry Cejudo. His most recent win was against Uriah Faber. That was 4 years ago. Casey is coming off this is a controversial win. I didn't think so. I thought it was a close fight, but some people thought Nathaniel would beat Casey Kenney. That was a really close fight. But he's also coming off another impressive win over Haley Alatang. And his most recent loss was to Merab Davashvili. I love Dominick Cruz. Dominick Cruz is my guy, man. It's one of the best comeback stories of all time. Where are these guys ranked, actually? I want to see something. Dominick is ranked number 11. At the time, they had put Casey Kenney at number 15. They took him out and put Marlon Vera back in there, which is interesting. So this is a really big fight for Casey Kenney, you know. He had a bit of a slip-up against Merab. Merab's a monster. I think Merab is super underrated. Dominick is not past his prime. I think the problem with Dominick is that he is so competitive, right? We've only seen him fight, like, high-level competition, right? Like, Cody Garbrandt and Henry Cejudo, like, whatever you want to say about Garbrandt, he has some of the best hands. And Dominick was super competitive in there, and he was just trying to outbox him, you know, instead of just going for takedowns, you know. He took him down in the first, and he didn't, you know, it kind of just became an ego thing where he's like, all right, I got to get him back. Against Henry Cejudo, he didn't get to do it, but I promise he was going to try. He was talking about he was going to try to out-wrestle Henry Cejudo. You know, this is the problem with Dominick, is that he's super competitive, and, you know, he's a competitor. I'm not mad at him. And he wants to fucking win. But it's just the level of opponent and the decision making that he went into. Obviously, it's a fight. Shit happens, right? He got caught with a knee against Cejudo. But I think the level of competition, he rises to, right? And even though the competition against Casey Kenney isn't very steep, right? He can't compare Casey to Cejudo or Cody Garbrandt. But the thing that adds to this matchup is that he's on a 2-fight losing streak. He loses to Casey Kenney. That's 3. So this is why this Casey Kenney fight is way bigger for him. And he's going to rise to the occasion. I think Dominick Cruz gets a decision win. This is a very, very important fight. If I have any young fans, you have to watch this fight. This guy is he has a legitimate claim to be considered the GOAT at bantamweight. He's done a lot of great things, right? Beating Demetrius Johnson, beating TJ Dillashaw. Right? He deserves a lot of respect. I know he lost to Cejudo, but this is going to be a really big fight for him. And I think he's going to give it all. I think he's going to put a pace on Casey Kenney, and I can't wait for it. I think he gets this done by decision. It's the decisionator. I remember Uriah Faber called him that at the press conference. Next fight, Thiago Santos versus Aleksandar Rakić. I'm not going to go too heavy on this. There is a breakdown on this fight, so I will tell y'all who I'm going with. I got to take Thiago Santos. I almost tricked y'all, huh? I got to go my boy Rakić, future champ, via 3rd round TKO. I think Rakić has better wrestling. I think he does. I think he's going to shock some people. He has better wrestling than Thiago. I think he's going to get ground and pound finish in the 3rd round. That's all I got to say. But I love this fight, but go check out my my breakdown on it. Nothing against Thiago, but I got to go with my boy Rakić on that. But yeah. Next one up, Islam Makhachev versus Drew Dober. Awesome fight right here, y'all. I love this fight, man. Islam's 18-1, fights out of Russia, age 29, height 5'10", and a reach to 70.5. Drew is 23-9, fights out of Denver, Colorado, age 32, height 5'8", and a reach to 70. These guys are ranked. Let's look. Islam is ranked number 14. Oh, they took Dober out of the rankings? That's interesting. Oh, that's crazy. They took Dober. He was ranked number 15, I remember. I wonder, probably because Chandler came in there. But, yeah, so this is a big fight for Dober, man. It's, basically back in the rankings. Dober is coming off a win over Alex Hernandez. His most recent loss was to Beneil Dariush. No shame in that. Islam, his most recent was against Davi Ramos, was a year and 5 months ago. That was a long, long time ago. This is a great fight. Good fight for Islam. Dober is a really good sensational striker. It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. But if I had to pick, I'm sorry, y'all, I got to go with Islam. I think Islam is just going to have the better wrestling, and he's going to have the better control. Dober, yes, he can crack, and he'll try to knock your ass out. But I just don't think he got taken down a lot by Hernandez in their fight. I think he got taken down 5 times. But this is a big fight for Dober. It really, really big. I like Dober a lot. Good guy. Legitimate Muay Thai background. He does have a background in wrestling, and he's competed in no-gi tournaments like all MMA fighters, right? But Islam, I think, is just on a different level than him in the grappling, and I think he gets this done. I think he gets it done by decision. I would have said submission, but I'm saying by decision. And next one up, I've done a breakdown for all 3 of these title fights, but I'm gonna run right through it. Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. This one, I want you guys to really check out this breakdown. I really went in depth with this. I hope you guys enjoy it when you guys do watch it. But I gotta go Petr Yan. 5th round TKO. That's all I'm gonna say. I know some people are gonna probably be mad about it, but that's all I gotta say. Petr Yan is just, I feel like he's on a different level than these guys. I know they call him the paper champ, but I think you guys are you're messing with the wrong one here. He's the wrong one to call a paper champ. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Next one up, Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson. There's not much to talk about here. I did do a breakdown. I tried my best on that breakdown. I gave it 10 minutes of my soul in that breakdown. But yeah, go check that out. That's also coming out. But yeah, I gotta go Amanda Nunes. It's just how she does it. I'm saying by decision. I think she's gonna have some problems with Megan Anderson with the length, so it's gonna take her a minute to figure out. And when she figures her out, she's gonna whoop her ass. She could finish her. She could. She honestly, I could see her taking her down and submitting her. But does she though? Does she want to do that? Maybe she's like, oh, she thinks she's a striker. I want to outstrike her. Like with Felicia Spencer, I think she wanted to out-grapple her to show her, like, because everyone kept kind of talking about her grappling. No, everyone knew Amanda was going to win, but people were talking about that. It's like, oh, she could catch her. But, yeah, I'm going Amanda Nunes by decision. And at the main event, Jan Błachowicz versus Israel Adesanya. Hey, y'all. I've been called the biggest Izzy hater of all time. And maybe I am. But I'm taking Jan Błachowicz via third round submission. I think Jan is too big. And one thing I'm going to say, I believe in that John Jones curse. Chris Weidman, Luke Rockhold, and Jacare. If you guys remember, we're all talking about John Jones before their light heavyweight matchup, right? And Izzy's been talking so much mess about John, and now he's fighting a light heavyweight. I think the John Jones curse is going to get Izzy. I think he's going to lose via third round submission. I think he's going to get knocked down, and then I think he's going to get submitted. People forget Jan Błachowicz submitted Nikita Krylov. Don't forget that, y'all. He did do that. But yeah, I think he's going to get this done. But I have a breakdown on this. So go check that out. But it is what it is. I'm done with all my predictions. I gave it to y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram. Do not forget to follow me on my Twitter. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I love y'all. Goodbye. UFC 259 is coming up. I cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. And if you're new to this channel, by the way, subscribe, like, dislike if you want. It's your choice. Comment down below. I love interacting with y'all. And yeah, goodbye and love y'all. It's your boy eBay. Out of here.